Excuse me. Good morning, everybody. That was just a morning cough. We are still clean, healthy people here. Um, I did read in the news. We lost another 300 souls to this Corona deal, and it does harden my heart and make me sad. But life still goes on, and all we can do right now is try to live our lives to the best of our abilities. Yes, this is April 1st. There will not be any kind of April Fool's gags here. There's too much other stuff going on to be pulling that kind of stuff. Excuse me, I am literally waking up. Well, I shouldn't say literally, but I'm still waking up a little bit. So excuse the eye rubbing. It's trying to get the sleep out of my eyes. This morning's little video is going to be, well, it might be a mixed bag. I don't know. Most of my videos can be, but I'm trying to focus. My main focus for this video is my devotional read. The title was called "It's Mine." Basically, what the author is trying to compare basically is back in the day, back in biblical times, Pharaoh tried to claim the Nile River as his, that he created it for the purpose of the people. He gave no credit to the actual creator of the Nile River, and of course, we all know if we've read the Bible, watched the TV, the movies and whatnot on Ten Commandments, what happened to Pharaoh. Um, God gave us the ability. He gave us everything we have for His purpose. He even gave mankind the capacity to manufacture products. And as we're seeing, yes, I'm going to use coronavirus as an example. As we're seeing what is happening nowadays to our people, our world, everything that's going on with the coronavirus, is an example of how God can punish us for not giving Him credit. Now, a lot of people might think that I'm being a little, what is the word I want to use? Not facetious, but presumptuous, that this is happening because God's trying to punish us. You can look at it any way you want to, but yeah. Now in China, because I found out how the coronavirus started and where it started. It started in China in an open air market with raw meat products. And some of the meat products that they eat in China are not exactly something I would want to put on my plate. But it basically started there and it spread. Now my question is how did it spread so quickly from China to America, or China to Italy, or Germany, or many of the other different countries that are being affected by it? Especially when it's supposed to be a water-based particle that has a shelf life of 14 to 28 days. Well, I just 14. I don't know about the 28 days. I heard that from someplace that I haven't checked yet. But 14 days. 14 days is not that long. 2 weeks. For those of you who worry about me and Jerry Ann because we still get products from Wish, which most of it comes from China, I am 99.9% positively sure that by the time the package leaves the depot in China to the time it gets here into the United States, if that particle got onto any of those packages, it's dead by the time it arrives here. Now, for places that are closer to China, like Italy, yeah, I can see how it could have gotten to Italy from China via a package, but I am pretty sure that any shipping company here in the United States, any receiving company here in the United States, has precautions. So even if they don't, by the time it gets to my house, the coronavirus is pretty much DOA. Granted, though, me and Jerry do take our precautions and wash our hands and sanitize, and the whole acting like it's just a regular flu bug, which is one of the basic defenses. Bulking up on your vitamin C, sanitizing, the whole 9 yards. Same thing with my company. The company I work for has basically put out a list of things that we need to do every 2 to 4 hours to keep the store clean. And I don't know about my morning crew, but I use the method that I was trained when I first started working food services back in New York, which is your sanitizing bucket gets changed out every 2 to 4 hours. Um, at this point in time, because of the way things are, the rag, not the sanitizing rag, the rag that's been soaking, but the rag that I use to dry with, I throw that in the wash and get a new one every 4 hours. So yeah, twice in my shift I get a new. Well, actually 3 times because I get a new rag when I first get there. 2 to 4 hours later, I get a new rag, and then right when I'm getting ready to do all my closing cleaning, I get a new rag. So my rag is not sitting around with in open air, moist, getting who knows what collected on it. I take precautions. I take extra precautions that my boss hasn't even said we should do. But there are two Bible verses that I want you guys to look up if you look up Bible verses. And this pertains to the devotion I read. The first verse is Romans 11:36, and the second verse is Isaiah 42:8. Now, this is a new part of my video, is giving you the Bible verses that I found or read or whatever. It does sound like I'm coming down with something, doesn't it, folks? I don't know if it's seasonal allergy related because of my sinuses and postnasal drip, which gets down and causes the cough. I do know, and I worried about it, was I did have a coworker who claimed to be getting over the flu. I have not seen her in a day or two because she's working early mornings, 4 to 10. But she had the flu, and she said it was not the coronavirus. And, well, grain of salt. I'm learning that some of my morning crew are not exactly all that truthful. But I'm not judging them. I'm just finding out that there are certain things that they say they do and they don't do. But I'm not here to talk about work today. I am here to address a couple things, though. This is where we get out of the Bible section. I just got done reading a few minutes ago a bunch of updated comments and whatnot from various viewers. I had asked not to be negative. One of the things I consider negative is when you start judging me for my appearance. I said it once, I'm going to say it again. I am doing what I'm doing, hair, beard, whatnot, because I'm going for a certain look. I don't care anymore about a promotion because of my appearance. A promotion should not be about a person's appearance, especially in something as low level as a convenience store gas station. I have seen many people in various parts of this country in gas stations that have a full beard down to the middle of their chest. Braided, matted, gnarled, combed. I've seen it all. And you know what? At this point in time in my life and at my age level, if I have not become a manager by now, It ain't gonna happen. I've been a manager before in other places in New York, so I know I can do it. And in New York, I had a mustache and I had a goatee, and I still was a manager. And it was it was a what they call a bodega, which, if you're not familiar with that word, basically, if you translate the word bodega, and I don't know what language it is, but if you translate it into from New York speak to Maine American speak, it's a deli. It's a convenience store with a deli in it. That's all it is. I know I can do it. I know that my appearance doesn't matter because the factor in New York, it's not your appearance, it's your skill set. And if the rest of the world can't manage to look past the appearance and see the skill set, well, that's your problem, not mine. As for the Viking era type look, which I want to go for, that's also my choice. I read something online the other day, which made me go, okay, well, yeah, maybe if I lived in Norway, um, I could get a possible shot at not being the main star, but being a background player, character, whatever. In well, there's one company that's doing a reality show, another company that's doing an actual like a long stream like series, documentary series of the Viking lifestyle, the Viking how they lived, what they did, their housing, their day to day lives. You know, the HBO special series or whatever company does the TV series or the special series called The Vikings. Now I've seen a couple episodes of that. Went well. I don't know if that really depicts the true nature of the Vikings, the full nature of it. Only kind of it looked like it only dealt with the warrior combat Viking raider type look. I'm not exactly looking to star in something like that. I'm not really looking to star in anything, but you know what? If I was going to try to star in anything, it would be something to do with the Viking era or the Renaissance era or something depicting the era that I would prefer to be living in. Um, I've got enough clothing in my closet now to basically wear on a regular basis to look like somebody who stepped out of the Renaissance. I've always wanted to join my cousin Matthew, who basically helped start and get the Seattle, Washington Renaissance Fair going. He now travels across the country to various Renaissance throughout America doing his woodworking. What does he do? He does some woodworking, some metalworking. No, not metalworking, leatherworking, maybe, I think. I don't know. But woodworking and mead making are two of the things that I've seen him talk about online on his. He doesn't. I don't think he has a YouTube channel, but I know I've seen because my cousin Susan has sent me information about where he's going to do whatever. Yeah, day late, dollar short when I find out about it because he passed through this area doing a mead making demonstration in Ohio. But for those of you who are overly concerned about this and this for promotional purposes or whatever, stop. Don't worry about it. This is not yours. It's mine. It's his. If he decides I need to get a haircut, something will happen that cause me to get a haircut. That was the whole purpose of the devotional. We don't own anything but ourselves, and we don't even own ourselves. You can claim ownership over your car, your house, the clothes on your back. No. If the man upstairs decides you don't own it, he'll take it from you. Same for those of you who have complained about the way Jerry Ann treats me or the way I treat her, I don't know where you're getting that from. We love each other. If we didn't, that right there would not be on our fingers. Okay? We would not be getting each other gifts like the ring that she got. A set of rings. It's upside down in the film, but if you put the two rings together, one is a heart, one half of a heart with um, cubic zirconia crystals in it, fake diamonds, and mine's got oh, there it is. There's my half right there. Onyx. Okay. So those of you who think Jerry's bad for basically not letting me talk as much as she does in our open online chats, or I don't know where you get that I might be mistreating her for some reason. We don't mistreat each other. We are like a normal everyday couple. We do have our disagreements. We do have our heated debates. We even have arguments. But in the end, at the end of the day, when everything settles down, we know we love each other. Okay? Um, so just stop. Okay? If you want to be concerned about anything, be concerned about health issues. Be concerned about financial issues. Be concerned about something happened that's tragic and it affected us. Be concerned about that. Don't be concerned about how you perceive our treatment of each other. Because you don't live in this house. You're not with us 24/7. You get a glimpse, a picture of what happens. That picture does not tell the whole story. I mean, look at all the pictures throughout your own photo album, or look at all the pictures that are in the Smithsonian or museums of one form or another that had to do with historical events. You might know that historical event. You might be able to glimpse at that historical event through that picture, but you don't know the story behind the picture. Because not all pictures have stories behind them that are written or spoken about or known. So end it. You think there's a problem? Don't be writing on my information or my page or Jerry Ann's page of something that you perceived, because for Jerry Ann, she's just gonna look at it and go, "Huh?" For me, I'm gonna jump all over it. I'm gonna look at it like it's a lump in a rug, and I need a hammer to pound it out. But since you don't know the whole story, don't act like you do. Like it says in the Bible, judge not lest you be judged. Anyhow, enough of that nonsense. Yes, I do get riled up easily. I get riled up by people who want to assume something about me or my wife. And I'm gonna tell you some. I'm gonna tell you something. It's a little funny in my brain, but it's not. I don't know if you all heard the old adage about assumption, because the adage that I've been taught is when you assume something, you're not only making an ass of yourself, but you're making an ass of somebody else. And unless you like being an ass, don't assume anything. Today is the last day of my work day, or my work week, my scheduled work week for the next 2 days. Then I'll go back on Saturday. I work Saturday and Sunday, and then I've been given 10 days off of work from Monday the 6th to Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember when the 16th or 15th is. Um, some of those days were requested, some of them were given because the company has basically said that if you want to take time off during this crisis, you're allowed a maximum of 2 weeks off. Well, I originally only wanted about 6 to 7 days off because Diane and I were originally going to go to Vegas to visit her family out there, her sister and three nieces. And, well, being that most of the states in that area are basically quarantining themselves because of the cases of COVID. I don't know why I keep on saying corona. Maybe it is corona, but COVID-19 um, has gotten kind of severe. Well, yesterday I had a friend who came to work, or a coworker, I should say, came to work and basically asked if we've seen the Rolla Facebook page, and I went, no, why? What's going on? Well, it seems that Rolla has decided that on the 6th that they're going to go into a quarantine phase, which basically means only essential personnel will be only essential personnel should be allowed, or only essential personnel should be leaving their homes. Unfortunately, I am considered essential personnel, and my store will probably remain open unless the company decides otherwise. What's funny about that is the factor that the day that they're going to enact this quarantine is the day I start my 10-day vacation. So I don't know how that's going to affect me after my 10 days, if I'm going to have to report back to work or whatever. I have to find out from my supervisor, hopefully today when I get into work. Which is also kind of interesting because on the same day that he came in, my coworker came in to tell me about this, um, my company had put out via our payment app, I keep on calling it the wrong thing, but it's how we find out our schedule and our paycheck and all that fun stuff. But it had on there information about applying for unemployment for the states that they had to close down their stores because it was mandated that they weren't a necessity. That the only thing that was considered a necessity was emergency personnel. Which I don't know what states those are because I didn't really look that in depth in the information, but I was just kind of like, wow. Now I know as a country as a whole, we're affected by the states that are basically being closed down. But it's up to each individual state and or county to basically make the decision to close. Now I'm not 100% sure because I have not looked up the information. Those of you who might live in a quarantine state could possibly put corrected information or whatnot in the comments box for all of us to understand what's going on. But a lot of the states, I'm thinking that a lot of states that had enough counties or enough of an affected number of people closed down their states. But here in Missouri, I've only heard of one other county that basically closed itself off, and that's the county right next to mine over in Pulaski. I think one of the viewers said something about her area, which is down by Springfield, Missouri, has also basically done a quarantine. So it's kind of like one of those, is the whole state going to close its borders once enough counties have had to quarantine themselves? Or what is the state of Missouri doing during this crisis? I don't know if many central states like Missouri, Kansas, not Idaho, Iowa, North and South Dakota, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kentucky, the states that are in the middle of our country, because I know from research and maps and whatnot that Washington, Oregon, California, Texas, Florida, New York, and a couple of the other East Coast states have basically quarantined themselves or have enough cases that they should quarantine themselves. I'm not positive. But from what I've been hearing from various people, that because of the states that have basically quarantined or closed off their borders because of the quarantine, travel in and out of those states is basically being, I don't know if it's being halted or anybody leaving most states have been basically turned back to their homes. Um, I know that there's a lot of panic and paranoia and whatnot because of this COVID. I'm starting to hear a lot of it here in Missouri, and I'm like, well, there's a number of things you can do to keep yourself safe and healthy, because that's the whole thing. Is the coronavirus is basically attacking more of the younger or older, basically the weak or the sick. Um, just like the coronavirus is a pack of wolves searching for those who are susceptible, weakened immune system, age, that kind of thing. Um, I worry about myself and my family because, well, my mom is up there in age. Jerry Ann and I both have health issues, whether it's allergy related or blood related or genetic related, because both her family and my family have had cases of high blood pressure, diabetes, allergies, the whole, well, not the whole gamut. Yes, my aunt had cancer. I actually had more than one aunt, but I know of at least one case of cancer in my family. Multiple members of both my mom's and dad's side of the family has had diabetic problems. I'm borderline diabetic, more hyperglycemic than anything else. Um, Jerry Ann, her family has had multiple cases of cancer. Her sisters, her mom had passed away because of diabetes. So there's Jerry Ann has probably a higher risk than I do. Um, Knock on wood, none of us here in this house gets it. But it's a concern, and right now, because it's allergy season, our immune systems kind of get weakened because it's trying to fight the allergy. Um, so I get concerned because I'm out there in the public dealing with people's money and dealing with people in general, and don't know how many of them could be ill. Um, I would hope that those who do find out that they're ill stay home, because it would be better off for the world if that you know that you're sick to stay home. My company does have a policy right now that if you feel sick or you think you're sick, to just stay home. This, which is happening to me today, is allergies. So I'm gonna end the video because it's getting a little long and I have to worry about food. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any positive questions or comments, please leave them. If you have any information about what I asked, go ahead and leave those comments. Until next time, God bless and have a good day. Bye.